So I've seen a couple of people here on the channel talk about it, seen in the chat, and even some of the comments from DreamWorks when the game was coming out for All-Star Kart Racing, and I've really been enjoying this game. And I'm not sure how long this video is going to be, but I wanted to take the time to make something a little bit different since DreamWorks is out. And I don't think they're going to get any more characters for this game. I think they're probably going to move on to their next idea, which I think has something to do with a potential platform fighting game. If it is, I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't even also mind seeing a sequel. And all these characters, just in a nutshell, from Shrek, you see Master Shifu and all these different characters from the bad guys and more. I think all of these characters that we have in this game, we can definitely most likely see in a platform fighting game. And the only DLC, we only got 2 characters. The DLC for DreamWorks is Death himself, or Wolf, and then Grandmaster Oogway, who are the bonus characters. But everybody else in this game was part of the base roster. And pretty much with these characters, it's 20 characters. From this roster, I can see all these characters possibly being able to make it into a platform fighting game. And Bridget being a tank, I'm sure. Gristle, if they go for that route. Maybe Poppy and some of those other characters from Trolls, from the Troll series. Poppy and Branch and all the other characters. I don't know all of them because I haven't seen all the movies. I don't think I've seen one movie of the series, but it's a great series from what you guys have told me. And playing that Trolls game was a lot of fun. That recently came out a little bit before DreamWorks All-Star Kart Racing came out. So I really definitely see all these characters realistically making it into a platform fighting game or some kind of fighter. And then a fighter that I wanted to bring to the table tonight is basically that Shrek Super Slam game. Shrek Super Slam only consisted of Shrek characters only from that roster, and I don't even remember some of these characters. Pinocchio, Prince Charming, just to name a few. Red Riding Hood, Robin Hood was up in the game. Even Gingerbread, man, was a playable character. Pinocchio already mentioned. Cyclops, Drunky, Fiona had 2 different separate characters in that fighting game. Shrek Super Slam, if you played it. Fiona, and then it was Fiona Ogre. So 2 different versions of Fiona had 2 separate slots as a playable. So they could probably do something of that similar like. And Captain Hunt, the Black Knight, and Anthrax, and so many more. Humpty Dumpty was even a playable character, and so on and so forth. But some of those characters from Shrek Super Slam might end up getting added. But just like I said, Shrek Super Slam was all about only Shrek characters. But with DreamWorks, I think they could have the same roster that we have here. And I wanted to just bring this out. I would add, if I'm making a DreamWorks platform fighting game or a platform fighter of some sort, I'm going to take the base roster. I see the developers doing this and making a move. Everybody that's in this game is going to make the move over into the platform fighter. And then I even took a step back, going back to Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, the first game. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl locked at 25, or basically capped at 25 characters. And if you take away the DLC, which was Jenny Wakeman, Hugh Neutron, and then it wrapped up with Rocco Rama, those 3 characters in that one universal pack or universe pack, it was only going to be 22 characters. Because if you add the extra 3 characters plus the universe pack, it maxes out at 25 characters. So maybe DreamWorks, if they do a DreamWorks fighting game, maybe it might be something like that of a similar fashion, just as a guess. And I want us to expand a little bit more. I don't want to just stop there. There's a lot of missing DreamWorks characters from this game, from the roster itself. You got Megamind. Megamind is the only rep from his show or from his series, basically in the game. And you have certain characters, you know, Diane and Mr. Wolf from the bad guys. You only got 2 reps from this area. And then How to Train Your Dragon, Astrid, and then Hiccup. You don't really have too many characters from that. They might add on additional characters like Toothless could get into the game and more. So I would take the DreamWorks All-Star Kart Racing roster and add on to it with new series and more potential DLC to keep the game going on and on. So it doesn't come out, the game comes out, and then the roster ends. They can bring more to the table. So I'm thinking this could be something that they could do as a little bit of an additional idea. Maybe that's what we're going to get next year we're probably not going to get a sequel for DreamWorks All-Star Kart Racing. Since they have access to these characters now, these developers are probably going to shoot for a platform fighting game or maybe something of that matter to do something additional. Now, just a little list I want to put in and add into the description and more. Additional reps that they can add into this game. Puss in Boots and kissing and a kitty cat. Well, kitty. I was gonna say kitty Caswell. Wrong character. Kitty Softballs is in this game from Puss in Boots series. So I added Jack Horner from Puss in Boots, like an iconic villain from his series. Another additional Megamind rep, like Minion, for example. And then I went as far as going into the world of Kung Fu Panda. Tai-Lung would definitely be in that game, don't y'all think? For Kung Fu Panda. And then I mentioned Toothless already for How to Train Your Dragon. And then, since the trolls in this game are not playable, they only act as a host. I'm gonna show y'all real quick. The trolls in the game. Let's try to just click on something. So when you just get ready to play a match, you could pick the host. See all these different ones. Poppy. I will put Poppy in the game. The trolls in DreamWorks All-Star Kart Racing, they only have their different special abilities to help you out on the tracks. They're not playable. They're not racers, which I'm surprised with when they make this game. All of these several trolls that you got, you don't even have Branch in this, but you got Barb, Trollex, and all the other ones. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. 6 different trolls from the series. They could be playable characters, but in this game, they're only act as a host, so they could be playable, and I'm sure they would be more than capable of doing all types of cool things in the matches. And then just to wrap up, I wanted to add in new additional reps. So I'm gonna go back to the roster. So I'll just click on the time trial, just open something up, just do solo race. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna play a race, but I just love the little animations that they have. But new reps that's missing in this game: Ruby, Gillman, and Chelsea, I think, can guarantee getting into the game. Over the Hedge, I'm pick Hammy and just RJ maybe. The Croods, Grug, and Eep, as an example. Penguins of Madagascar are missing their background characters in this game. I put Skipper, Private, Rico, and more for Penguins of Madagascar. Abominable, Yi and Everest could be a duo, but if they do something, get somebody like Everest, he's gonna be a tank. He's not gonna be easy to stop. And then Jack Frost, that's powerful from Rise of the Guardians. Those are just some examples of new reps that I put into this roster. But I feel like if they were to just switch starters, a DreamWorks All-Star Brawl or All-Stars or a DreamWorks Showdown, maybe it'll be a brand new DreamWorks Super Slam or something like that. Whatever they choose to call it. I'm sure it's not going to just be with Shrek. But I wouldn't be against seeing the Super Slam too, if they go that route. But since we have this, I think we're going to get something bigger and better from the roster that we have now. And it's going to be like Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, the first game, where they start off small and then they'll probably add more for DLC. And then that game will be guaranteed to get DLC, being a fighter and all. But they got all the characters in the world for DreamWorks series. I think they can definitely make one. I'm not sure some of y'all would be able to like to play some of these characters. What's some characters with y'all who you guys want main? I'm not sure. I would play everybody. Be Shrek for sure. Shrek and Poe being some of my favorites. Gristle and the Boss Baby himself. They're gonna be doing some crazy stuff. And just their abilities and the powers that they have. It's a lot of heroes out there in the DreamWorks world. And then you know Death is gonna bring it. Relentless and inevitable bounty hunter. How would they not include Death himself being a bounty hunter? He's gonna be one of the best characters, and I think a lot of people will probably pick him up. But I just wanted to try something a little bit different, just to talk about what they could possibly do for the future. Because I feel like this game is not going to get anything additional. The game is only about 2.5 weeks old. Since it came out, all things considered, it came out November 3rd. I'm not sure if we're going to probably get anything new for characters, because we already got our roster settled for these 2 DLC characters. So we'll just have to see what they do. But if they do make a platform fighting or a DreamWorks fighting game, because a lot of people kept saying it and thinking that could be their next move, the roster could definitely be huge. It doesn't have to stop 20 characters, 25 characters. It goes on and on. They can make their own DLC season packs or season passes to be able to expand, and every different character can get in from these different reps. All new reps, even already represented characters to expand. The bigger the roster, the better. And there's just no way characters like Ruby Gillman will not get picked because it's a popular series. Everyone talks about it just with the marketing, and people will buy the game for some of these characters. More than guaranteed, most likely. And I hope if they do, just to close out, it has that crossplay, because it's going to be bigger and better. It'll keep the game active, and even more with post-launch content.